All right, so I'm here in Tekla Structures 2022, and here's an issue that you might run into. So here I've got some assembly drawings in my drawing list, and I actually accidentally made some single part drawings with the same basically mark, because I've got Tekla set up to where main parts of assemblies will take on the assembly mark for the part mark. And so here you can see that I've got 3 W drawings and 3 A drawings. Now let's say that I'm not actually going to release these. I just want to show kind of what happens with Tekla PowerFab or Tekla EPM export. I've got these drawings here, and if I actually go into the model folder and I go into my plot files folder here, we can actually see that I've got 3 drawings created, and these are assembly drawings directly in plot files. Then I also, just for this testing purpose, here in a little bit I'm going to show you that I actually created 3 single part drawings that have exactly the same file name, but I put them in a single part subfolder inside of plot files. So just remember this, we're going to come back to this in a second. All right, so I've got my 3 assembly drawings in the drawing list selected, and I go to export here underneath the Tekla menu. So Tekla export, and then I go to Tekla PowerFab. When I go underneath here, we'll see the dialog box open up, and I've got basically here under drawing files, use the drawing files from the folders below. And this is the default, it just reads right into the plot files folder. And then also I'm going to choose this generate CNC files and just use the standard setting. So there's a couple things that I'm actually going to show you that happens here that you might run into with this Tekla PowerFab export. So the first thing is that I'm going to make sure that I switch this to selected drawings from the drawing list. And so I've got 3 assembly drawings selected, and I simply come in here and say export to Tekla PowerFab. Now the first thing is I get this export CNC file failed. I'm going to say yes to continue, and then here is my zip file. Now when I go inside of there, you'll see that no CNC files are created and no drawings are mapped. So what the heck is going on? Well, the first thing is that here underneath these CNC settings, if we actually come up to File, Export, NC Files, we need to make sure that the Create checkboxes here are set, which they are off by default in the Tekla Structures default steel detailing model template and US Imperial basically environment. So I need to switch those on and then save those as standard, and then now that will fix that problem. Basically the error is happening because these saved away settings don't have any CNC files being created because those checkboxes weren't checked. So there's the first problem. Now the second problem is that basically I could resolve this issue here by just deleting these single part drawings like from the drawing list. But you actually may want this for some reason. You want both the single part and the assembly drawings exported, even though they have the same mark. So I don't necessarily want to delete these drawings, but I am going to go actually back into this EPM folder here. So Tekla PowerFab folder, sorry, saying EPM because that's what it used to be called. And if I go inside of here and then I go inside of the actual XML file itself and open this up, it's kind of important to see here that basically I've got this assembly drawing. So I've got one, and then notice right after that there's a single part drawing. So even though I didn't have single part drawings selected in the drawing list, because the single part is essentially associated to this assembly drawing, it looks like EPM automatically will export the single part drawings and the assembly drawings together, whether I select the single part drawings in the drawing list or not. So that's something to take note, that basically the XML file thinks that there's both single part drawings for this main A100, A101, and A102, as well as assembly drawings. So I think that that's part of the culprit. So let me close this down. And basically to resolve this issue is what I had to do is I actually had to go back up into the plot files folder. I had that single part folder where I put these 3 separate single part drawings. So these are assembly drawings in the main plot files, and then these are single part drawings in this subfolder called single part. And now, even if I don't select these type W drawings, but if I would have deleted them, I wouldn't have had to even make this. But like here, I've got the single part drawings in my drawing list, only selecting assembly drawings. I'm now going to, again, just press the button here. CNC files are generated. A _2 zip file is created. There's my CNC files. Looks good. Okay. Then when I actually come up here into drawings, oh, we still don't have a match. And let me show you what I did wrong. Okay, sorry, I forgot to come in here to underneath the EPM dialog box. There's this single part drawing subfolder. I actually need to go ahead and browse to that, or what I can do is just come in here and say single part, and then slash, so that way it reads now for single part drawings from that subfolder. So I'm just going to go ahead and say export. Now we'll have a number 3. I've got the CNC files, and then I also have the drawings here. So that was the culprit. Like something with the EPM export, and it didn't give me any log or message that told me about that I saw. And so basically, if you have assembly drawings and single part drawings with the same mark in your drawing list and you're exporting, you basically have to make sure that the single part drawings are in a totally different folder than the assembly drawings for your plot files. And so these are the assembly drawings, these are the assembly drawing plot or PDFs, and then this is the single part PDFs, and they all have the same name. So just something to keep an eye on. The CNC export settings need to be set to create if you're going to create from EPM. And then also if you have single part drawings and workshop drawings with the same exact mark, you need to make sure that you set in EPM to look in 2 different directories to map the PDFs to. If you found this content useful, please subscribe to our channel and press the alerts button to be notified when we upload new content.